That's why there's nobody up here. So one person. No cars parked there either. This is like the old days when I used to make videos when the trail was closed. Like if you know my channel, it would be all my first 50 videos. Some of them were even before the GoPro, which were pretty bad to watch, but not bad to listen to. I don't think. But it was really shaky because it was my phone. Now it's a little shaky, but it's a lot better. It's a GoPro. But yeah, this reminds me of those days when the trail was closed and I come up here and there's nobody except for maybe one guy that lives down at the bottom. He used to come up here and I'd see him. But during those times I built a huge dam up there, huge, and a giant pool. And it changed the habitat. It was had a bunch of those, I guess they're newts, which you've never seen there, and a whole bunch of frogs. And so it's cool because it's like a giant pool, and then it went in, and then it broke into two pools. It was like, almost looked like jacuzzis, but there was nobody coming up here. I mean, that was a lot of work too, but it's just throwing rocks, piling them up. I think I made that one just about with no tools, no shovel, nothing. That's when I used to run into. Oh, hey, how you doing? Just when I thought nobody's on the trail. Oh. How you doing?
There's someone one ahead of you.
So have a good one, man. I'm gonna run into somebody else. It's like 99, I'd say. Without any fucking wind. And it feels so much hotter than it is. Everybody says that. It's because of all the spraying. They're pushing out the natural moisture that would be like our natural air conditioning. All that aluminum and shit they spray just pushes all that shit out. You end up with the, like, no help from Mother Nature, just pure heat. That's why everybody's saying it feels so much hotter. It's because it is. I mean, temperatures didn't change, but it feels like it because we're not getting any help from Mother Nature. Because whether you guys want to admit it or not, they're killing Mother Nature on purpose. They're literally killing life on this, I'm not going to say planet, on Earth. Because in case nobody knows or doesn't hasn't heard me before. Earth is not a planet. Actually, what they claim to be a planet doesn't exist. Because everything up there are not rocks floating in space. Space isn't even. Space is in the movies. There is no space. Space between your fucking ears. All that clinking around in there. Social media, the internet, bullshit, clogging your fucking brain. I'm one to talk, but I've always said once you figure out what's going on, you understand what all these tools are for and what they're trying to do, you really can't be affected by it. But if you don't know, then you're influenceable easily. And they're just, when they provide all of the options that you have to think of, that creates reality right there. Which is what they've done. That's what you call it, the Matrix. I never really say that, but it kind of is. It's a created reality. Because you only know what you see, what you hear, what you can imagine. And what the fuck are you going to be able to imagine when the whole multiple choice of things to think of comes from them? You're like on a game show where they got all the fucking answers. You don't know shit. The survey says and I feel bad for these kids, these young kids that are growing up, is what they're getting nothing but the Matrix and the created reality, because like kids are like getting cell phones like when they're 6 years old and shit. And if you give your really young kid a cell phone, and most of the time parents are trying to get things done and keep the kids busy, you know, then all of a sudden you're going to have a kid that's going to be on the cell phone all the time. And then you're going to have a kid that goes, he's a teenager, goes to parties, and him and his buddies beat people up to death, don't think nothing of it. That's what you create. You take out the human element. And even if it's like human create, stuff that's on the internet, it's not the same as, human contact. It's like kids are like being raised without a soul. And everything's a click away. I mean, think about it. They're all corrupt, but probably understand why. Can you imagine what it would be like to be a teacher today in high school? They couldn't pay me enough. Like, if you don't get your ass kicked by the black kids, I mean, how can you fucking teach a class when kids have cell phones? And can you really control whether they have them? I don't even know. Is that like what schools do? Or is it against school rules to have a cell phone in class? What is it like these days? Or can you have a cell phone during your test? Because what I hear, kids are using AI for everything, and they're graduating illiterate. Because AI has been there for a while now. You know, apps and all that shit for a couple years. And who wouldn't fucking use it? If you're going to school learning shit you don't need to fucking know anyway. Like, think of how many hours you lost from your childhood in a history class where they were doing nothing but fucking lying to you. They're telling you a fucking story is what they were doing. A fucking made up story. And science, think about science, fuck. Some science is good, but I say all science is fucked. Once you're teaching kids they're on a water ball flying through space, chasing the sun. You know, in a model, a universal model of the universe that is like not possible. The solar system chasing the sun. It's absolute bullshit. There is no solar system, people. There can't be. Because the sun isn't gigantic. The sun is our circuit. It's local, just like the moon. It's like a spot heater, life giver. I mean, anybody who's still stuck on 93 million miles away, I mean, I don't know what to say at this point. It's fucking right there. If it was 93 million miles away, we wouldn't be able to see it. A million miles away, we wouldn't see it. The human eye only picks up, and even with telescopes and all that shit, you can only see a couple thousand miles at the most. And if you can even see that, because air is, you know, all the shit is not invisible. People always say that, oh, how can the earth be flat if you can't see, you know, China from here? Well, the fucking eye can't even see that far. The telescopes really can't see that far. And that's the whole thing about telescopes. People don't understand. You're not looking at a planet millions of miles away, or whatever a fucking light year is away. You're looking at stuff like 70 miles max, maybe a little bit further. I don't know if the stars are, sure seems like the stars are right at the firmament, you know. And anybody who watched star trails, when you go online, look at the star map. The Polaris sits in the fucking middle and everything spins. If you can't see that, you're fucking dumb. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but I have one ex-friend of mine that just swear he stuck by the globe model. And it's got to the point where I can't be around the dude. I don't want to be around the dude. I mean, sure, I'm around people that think the earth is round a lot, but we don't talk about it. But I mean, this dude, it's, some people hang their hat on what they were taught in high school, and this guy really hangs his hat on his fucking high school learning. And I just don't understand that, dude, because now anything you learn in high school, it's time to fucking look over, because now you're smarter whether you want to believe it or not. You get smarter. Life makes you smarter. If you're fucking dumb, you're probably going to be dumb forever, but you do get better. You learn lessons. Learn how to tie your shoes correct. And not make mistakes. Or at least learn how to select your mistakes. But I've always told people the water concept. Everybody knows what water does, whether you want to. Doesn't matter whether you've studied it and done experiments or not. If you filled a bathtub, a cup, or just gone to the beach, seen the ocean, lakes, all the experience we have with water, you know it sits flat. So you know you can't have an ocean. It's going to be a ball, especially if they are spinning. Because everything they've told you was the opposite of the truth, and you bought it. And some people just won't question it now. The model that they've given us is so far from reality. They laugh at us, and that's why I can't have friends anymore that still think we're on a globe. Because it's really, literally, you are retarded if you think that. And see, some people will watch this. That one ex-friend of mine will watch this and laugh and say, I'm the fucking idiot. And I always assumed that those people knew they were wrong. The only reason they stuck with the globe model was because basically most of the retards in society, I mean, I don't even think it's 90% anymore. I think it's like half the people in this world will say the earth's flat. But it won't make a difference till we're got like 80% and 80% moving forward, you know, alpha males, but that's not a lot of those left. But so I mean, and people say, oh man, that's the wrong reason to end a friendship. I don't think so, because you know, anybody who wants to sit down and have a conversation with me about the earth, and a really open, honest conversation, and if at the end of it you still think the earth's a ball, it's because you want to. And I don't know why you would want to, because that is like that is the biggest deception in the history of mankind. And that's why it's become so important to me to try to spread that, because it's so fundamentally, it's so easy to see. What they tell you gravity does, or what gravity is, or what, can't be, because we see that it doesn't do what they say. You know, you can't have, you know, how the hell, if you were a plant growing out of the ground and you had a force sucking towards the middle of the earth as you were growing, we'd have no fucking plant showing itself. Everything would be underground, would grow inside the earth. It couldn't grow out. There's no way. With the constant force pushing towards the middle of the earth, as something slowly grew, there would be no life. It's that simple. And nobody can, and try to explain, try to change that. If you're, a globe person, try to talk your way through that and see how you can get around that, because you can't. If something is growing slowly, and people have like put cameras on stuff and watch it grow, as it's growing, it's being sucked to the center of the earth. There's no way it could be above ground. Not at all. Everything would be a vegetable and grow in the ground. Maybe it wouldn't be possible. It just doesn't. It's that simple. There would be no life. And if we were on a ball, how the fuck would a river flow? The only way it could flow would be going from high elevation to low. But we know rivers don't do that. They stay flat on the surface. Like the Colorado River flows right through. Okay, I gotta look for bears, because there's nobody up here. You really gotta look in the trees. You don't want to walk under a tree. And these two trees right here, they fucking love. And there's a bear that calls this place his home and his water source. Well, there's a couple actually. But there's one I know. Sure. I don't see anything hairy in the tree. But at the place, oh, I see somebody. Is that somebody? Oh, maybe so. Sure looks like it. Sitting on the bench. Yeah, sure. Hello. You don't mind being on YouTube, do you? How are you doing? Nice and hot, huh? Whew. Hey, bugs are fucking with me. I feel a bit of a blister forming on my fucking foot. On the back of my left heel. That's gonna be a problem. I got moleskin to put on. But whew. Shit. I can't. I'm looking forward to resting. Let me click this thing off. Oh, what happened here? Oh, a tree came down. Whoa, that tree broke. Trip out. Wow. That's crazy. Either that or Bigfoot. That's crazy. I mean, we had a little bit of wind. I think we had enough for that. I'll be damned. That was since the last time I've been here. It's created a nice kick-it spot. What I need to do is bring a saw, cut this thing up, have a bunch of fucking seats right there. That's gonna be bitching. Make it like a living room. I'm not gonna bring a chainsaw. Might bring a wood saw, but ooh, that's a lot of cutting. Ooh, I have a maybe my cordless sawzall, but that's gonna be timely too. Maybe an axe. But I'd hate to let this go to waste. I've been wanting a big old fucking stick across that thing. Now I can do it. Oh, I forgot I had this thing on. Probably not the most entertaining video from this point. Maybe it's a good thing I wasn't here when that shit happened. Alright, y'all, cut this off. It's been fun. Peace out. World's flat.